Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know what? People have asked me here online, Dwyer, what are you doing in what looks like a back room? Right? Actually, this is part of our bedroom, believe it or not. That's my baby's crib. We're getting a new sofa. You know the way it is. Wifey has her way, so the sofa I love, this sofa, gets shoved into the bedroom, and I'm here, you know, in a new layout. So that's how it is. Let's talk about a fight happening in about an hour. It's Chris Eubank at super middleweight, going up for the IBO super middleweight title. Right now, he's actually fighting a guy called Renold Quinlan. And Quinlan shocked everyone, right, by beating Daniel Geale by KO in something like the second round. Now, Geale, people might recall, has been in a bit of decline of late, right? Geale lost by KO to Golovkin. He then lost by KO to Miguel Cotto in the kind of fight I don't like, right? The dreaded catchweight fight that somehow is for a title, right? Well, Geale had actually lost 4 of his last 6 fights going into his fight against Quinlan, right? Who is an Anthony Mundine protege. Now, there's a weight difference in this fight, at least there should be, because Quinlan is the bigger man, right? He's been fighting at 168. You might recall Eubank was fighting at 160, right? Think about that fight against now 160 champion Billy Joe Saunders. Quinlan has 1 loss. It's to Jake Carr. I've put a copy of that fight in my favorites folder here on YouTube. I would call that loss questionable, right? Quinlan looks good in that fight. That fight, in my opinion at least, could have gone either way. Now, Quinlan fights off of his back foot. He's outside operating behind a jab. He is up on his toes. He is hard to find. When you look at his style and you realize he has a lot of skills, right? After all, he is the IBO super middleweight champion. He has a lot of skills. And when you look at his resume and you see long layoffs for a guy who's this skilled, that tells me that this guy has been a sparring partner for stretches of his career. In other words, this is a guy who's too talented for me to believe the storyline going around that he questioned whether he wanted to continue in boxing and all this other stuff. You know, guys who are questioning whether they want to, you know, continue in boxing don't have this style and this level of timing, right? As I said, he's operating behind a jab. He's throwing the occasional power shot, right? It caught and dropped Daniel Geale. Sadly, the video on the Geale fight here on YouTube is done by someone who's in the crowd. We don't have official footage of Quinlan's KO of Geale, right? Looks like he hits Geale on the temple. Geale is down, can't continue, folks, right? That's the level of power. Now, all of that said, there's one fact that to me is the tip-off on the fight. It's the reason why I'm taking Chris Eubank. And it's because Quinlan stands too tall, right? He's a big man. His midsection's exposed. He stands upright. That's tailor-made for Eubank, who's one of the few fighters in the sport who can fight low, who's coming at you from a low angle, right? I think Quinlan is going to have a problem when Eubank gets inside. I don't think Quinlan has anything that's going to be able to stop Eubank from getting inside and working over his body. I'm not sure if Quinlan has what I call low power. In other words, some guys can hit hard, but they can hit hard up top, especially when they're tall guys. Right? They might not be able to bend and get low to throw hard shots on a guy who's coming from down low. I like Chris Eubank in this fight. I think Eubank makes a statement here. I'm expecting Eubank to go to the body. I would not be surprised if Eubank gets a stoppage. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. The fight's about to tip off, right? In an hour or so. I hope after the fight and before the fight, you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.